We're judging the world and saying what sucks. We're reviews.
We're kind of lacking some energy.
Well, that partially might be because I'm a little bit sick.
Yeah.
Somebody
and
baby me.
And I'm just super tired. I've been doing this project for work.
Yeah.
Emily is sicky poo. John is sick of poo. You know, it's all the same.
That's my favorite joke today.
Holy crap, Emily, you are tired.
Wow.
That gets that reaction?
And on that note, good morning, Baltimore, or wherever we're recording this podcast.
It's a secret.
It's not a secret for anybody who probably listens to this, since you probably all hail from about the same place as we do. But
Because,
Hi,
you probably
Curtis.
know us.
Hi.
I know who's listening. It's Curtis and Aldo.
My cousin listens.
Maybe me next week.
Maybe my mom. Hi, Mom. My mom doesn't.
My mom does not listen to this.
It's like 5 people from my work.
It's one of those things where it's like, hey, Mom, listen to my podcast.
Podcast? That's my parents would be like, is that a computer thing? Is that an app?
Is there an app for that? Can I?
There is actually, but
There are several apps for that. That's kind of the point.
Go. Welcome to Reviews versus the World. Today,
thanks.
everybody,
yay.
my name is Emily. I got a room full of a bunch of guys, and by full, I mean there's like 3 other guys here. But let me tell you, these guys are pretty dapper. They might not think they are. But I sure do.
I have had this hoodie for about 10 years, and it's got that many holes in it, so...
That makes it all the better.
I remember the last time I bathed. You wouldn't think that'd be an accomplishment, but I found working from home, you kind of
all like
Kinda just-
falls, like the days kind of melt into...
when you can wear pajamas all day, you do. And, yeah, it's icky.
That'd be my biggest fear, having to work from home, because I feel like I would never want to leave the house. But I feel like I would have to because I'm working from home. But I don't ever want to leave my house because I like my house. I would not do well working from home.
After a little while, you're like, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna go nuts. Like when it's Friday and you're like, I haven't left the house since Sunday. I gotta get out of here. Yeah.
Get crazy in the head, insane in the membrane, if you will.
Yeah. And
I'm full of ridiculous
again
references.
the excessive poo.
Hey, at least that baby's really cute, right?
Everything comes down to poo.
We're not
Hey,
we're not there yet.
Hey, it feels like that's going to be later on tonight.
It could be. It could be related to the theme of the podcast that we'll be talking about. But before we get to that point, I think we should all take a turn around the table and talk about some of the nerdy things we've been involved in. I'll go ahead and start on my right with Brady.
Well, hello there.
Oh, hello.
So, this might surprise you guys, but I've been playing a lot of Zelda.
Okay, what is happening with you?
What's Zelda? Have we ever recorded a 3.5-hour podcast about Zelda?
I don't think
Gracious.
I've...
I don't think
Oh,
I've
man.
listened to it yet.
So who's
So
the
good.
girl in the game?
Link.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
No, it's
I'm
Link.
lying, you guys. I'm not actually
Undone
dumb.
all of our good work.
No, but Breath of the Wild, of course, is absolutely amazing. However, over the last month, I have decided I need to branch out a little bit.
Some might say that would be
I was
place to
I was
go.
getting a little bit obsessive, over 100 hours played, and decided I needed to try some other things. So I actually have been playing Shovel Knight for the first time.
Ooh, Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight, and Shovel Knight is really good. If you don't know what Shovel Knight is, it's basically 8-bit style.
Mm-hmm.
It's very reminiscent of Mega Man in that you have these levels that are all themed around a certain boss, and then you fight the boss, but you don't take their abilities. But there are some you can upgrade your armor and your shovel and just different weapons and different items that you can get. And so there's a lot of progression that way. But for all that, you need money. So, one of the big things is money. And anytime that you die, you lose money, and there are just these bags of money floating in the air right when you died.
That's
so you have to
horrible.
get back to there if you want to get that money back. And the times when you don't, you really hate life.
Gotta get
Yeah.
that money.
But it
Money.
has 2
The game
expansions.
is too real to be an escape.
Right, I can't.
It has 2 expansions that came with it. The first one is Plague of Shadows, I believe, where you play as one of the bosses that you fight in the game, Plague Knight, which, I don't know, something feels off about the way that he moves, because he his attack is he throws these little bombs, and then if you throw one down and then just hold down the throw button for a second, then you'll start flashing. And you let go of that, and you have a little explosion that gives you a little bit of extra jump. But like I didn't really connect with that at all. In fact, I've barely played any of his storyline.
So you would say he does not have the moves like Jagger.
No, he does not. But
that's also, I don't think, what anybody would say in this context.
But the newest one, Specter of
You are the
Torment.
only person in the middle of that Venn diagram. You are the only one.
I live there. Thank you. I reside there very comfortably. Continue, Brady.
Okay. So, but the other expansion is Specter of Torment, where you play as Specter Knight, who's another one of the bosses. And Specter Knight feels really cool to control. First of all, he's basically a Grim Reaper type character. He has a giant scythe as his weapon. And one of the things about it is if you jump, then depending on whether you're above something or below it, then you can like slash across it. So that, like, that gives you a little bit of extra verticality. You can slash up if you're below it, or you slash down if you're above it. And it's just really fun to control. Plus, his storyline I really loved, because it's a prequel storyline to Shovel Knight, where basically the Enchantress, who's the big bad of the game, hires you to go and gather the knights. So to gather them, you have to go and you have to beat them, but the levels are completely different this time around, and they're all, catered around his abilities, which it's so cool. And it's probably the best indie game that I've played in, well, pretty much ever. It controls really well. It's very well designed. It's a lot of fun. And other than that, I have been playing Puyo Puyo Tetris.
What's that?
We played that last time?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
We played the demo of it.
Playing is generous. I think you beating the crap out of me is more accurate. Because I was like, hey, I found a block to make the... Oh, no, Brady made the whole thing fill up. It was bad.
So Puyo Puyo Tetris, it takes two different puzzle games, Tetris, and then Puyo Puyo, which the only thing that you might know Puyo Puyo from is if you played Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine back in the day. Or Kirby's Avalanche, I think was the one on the Super Nintendo. And basically it's just a mashup of these two puzzle games, and you have modes that combine the two of them. You have one mode that I love that basically you're trying to manage both a Tetris game and a Puyo Puyo game at once, and it will swap between them.
Oh my gosh.
Like every 30 seconds, so you have to change the way that you think about doing your puzzles.
That's super frustrating.
It's amazing. But I absolutely love that. And that is also on the Switch. And also on the Switch that we just played a little bit of tonight, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just came out today.
Yay!
And I love Mario Kart 8. It's the best Mario Kart yet. And we actually did some of the new battle mode, doing the balloon battle.
I did like that, and I've kind of missed... I've been... Before we started, I was a little critical of Nintendo and how they've been kind of re-releasing the same stuff over and over and over again.
It's just like movies.
It's worse than movies, because it's the exact same thing. At least Emma Watson was in the new Beauty and the Beast, which wasn't a possibility with the first one. Yeah. But all that
Is she
said...
that young? Oh my gosh.
All that said... battle mode was great. I do love me some Mario Kart battle mode.
Well, and there are some new modes in there too. I played one round online of, I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically like a cops and robbers type mode, where the cops all have piranha plants in front of their carts that basically you just have to get close enough to one of the robbers to eat them, and then they go and they sit in this jail, but anyone on the robbers team can free everyone from the jail if they run over the key. And so it's just a matter of like the cops all trying to get all the robbers, and it was a lot of fun to play online. But yeah, and I also started rewatching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
My gosh, that show is so good.
It's so good. And it has so many emotional episodes. You realize what you're in for 4 episodes in, when, well, I won't give anything away, but it involves a little girl, and it makes you upset.
You hurt me, Brady.
and it's so
Two
good.
words.
There's
3
still
words.
some things about it that I absolutely hate. And I mentioned this 3 years ago when I first watched it, but I hate the whole anime freak out animations and where they change the animation style or just how yelly main characters can get. I'm going to yell everything that I'm saying, and it really kind of feels like it's taking away from things. But that said, the story in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is so outstanding that it's still my favorite anime, even though it does rely heavily on the things that I hate about anime. But yeah, I really recommend it. Oh yeah, and then Legion finished, and that was awesome.
I still am not caught up.
I still haven't watched any episodes.
And Fargo started, and that's awesome.
Wait.
You like Fargo?
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
I'm surprised
hey, John,
by this.
You can. John, how's about you? What have you graced yourself with in your life?
Just got back from a trip to see family in the Midwest. That was fun. Had a lot of great times.
Did you pick up an accent?
Showed off the baby. No, Indiana doesn't really have an accent. Like,
Everybody
there
has
are
an
rednecks. No, like you look at your newscasters anywhere, even in places that have accents, and they have the lack of. Hi, we're gonna a high of 72 and cloudy tomorrow, and that's what Indiana sounds like.
Okay.
Nothing. Now you have that cousin that likes NASCAR too much. They have an accent.
That's developed
but
one.
that's everywhere. So
That's fair.
I've been reading Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson because I want to avoid spoilers for everything, and so I figure I just have to read everything, and then I can.
And then you can have a conversation with.
Then it's more from spoilers to speculation, and then I can be ready for the new book that comes out. At least the new Stormlight Archive book that comes out in November.
Man, I'm so excited.
Oh, this is gonna be so good. First two were fantastic.
Oh,
Second one might be better than the first. It's tough to say because you need
the first two are some of my favorite books I've ever read.
Yeah.
Easily.
Emperor, and then I read Emperor's Soul, which might even be top 3 out of all those books. Hope of Elantris was good. All of the Mistborn Secret History, 11th Metal, that kind of stuff was all right. Still haven't read White Sand, Six of the Dusk, or Edge Dancer. Shadows for Silence in the Forest of Hell was amazing. Really liked that. And I'm trying to think of other nerdy stuff. I'm still catching up on Legion. There's going to be a new version of StarCraft coming out, I think, this summer. I want to say July.
Isn't that like one of the original StarCraft games they're remaking? I heard about that. So
they released one of the newer versions, but they also released the original for free. And it's the 20-year-old game, but I never got to play. I had Warcraft 2.
I love Warcraft 2,
It's so fun. And so, like, it's the same type of game, Command and Conquer style, And so I was like, yeah, I'll play. I'm perfectly happy with this 20-year-old game with old graphics for free. Heck yeah. Because I never got to play it all the way through. I just watched people play, and they'd let me play for a minute. I'd die, and then they'd kick me off the computer, and it wasn't my turn anymore. So,
yep.
That'll be...
I know that. I know those feels, man.
Yeah, So...
At least you didn't have brothers. Maybe you did. That
No.
if you...
All sisters.
I always had the experience of if I was playing a game and I was sucking, they'd say, just let me do it for you. Every time.
Yeah.
Hated it.
Yeah, because then you don't learn, and how are you ever going to... Yeah. So.
True dat, Holmes.
But, old video games and Brandon Sanderson, that's kind of my wheelhouse of late, so...
That sounds plenty peachy keen.
Yeah, keeping me happy.
What about our old buddy, Steven?
Could I interject really quickly?
Oh, sure. I just have to crack in my mouth.
So I was just going to say to any of our listeners, we're planning on next month doing The Emperor's Soul, actually, for our podcast.
That's a book in case you didn't pick that up.
And we will be spoiling it. So if you guys want to go out and read it, I'm sure that you can find it for like $2 on Audible or something like that. So you should be able to get it pretty cheaply, but it's awesome, and we will be talking about it.
Definitely worth it. Definitely great. You don't have to read any other books. even if you have read other books, there's very little connection to other books.
I thought you were implying that you never had to read another book again, and I'm like, I don't imagine that this book is going to be that
Put away your
but I could be
Bible.
wrong.
Put away your Bible, kids. This is all the book you need.
If you only read one book this lifetime.
This is the good book.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell me a story, Stephen.
Oh, okay. So I actually have been reading like just an unbelievable amount of comic books, but for once I'm not planning on talking much about the comic books, because we have to talk about Power Rangers, guys.
Power Rangers.
So
wait, were you
that
into them as a kid?
Shush you.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah, you're interrupting is what's happening.
Go ahead with your song, your theme song.
The theme song actually happens in the movie. They
Score.
play the classic Power Rangers theme song when the Rangers get into the Zords to fight for the first time.
That makes me so pleased.
And
With
the
5
next,
minutes left in
and
the
the
film.
next song that they play after that is Kanye West's Power.
Because why not?
So, like, I am a fan of Power Rangers from childhood. I have watched Power Rangers since being a child, and it does not hold up.
Surprise.
That's unfortunate.
It's real bad, you guys. It's just, like, unbelievably bad. But I've always kind of had a fascination with it. I feel like I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but maybe I haven't. Boom Studios is putting out a Power Rangers comic that is excellent. It's in the continuity of the classic show. And it deals with the psychological fallout from Tommy having been evil and is no longer evil. And do his teammates trust him? And does he trust himself? Is he still under Rita's thrall? Pretty fascinating stuff. The movie's not that deep.
Okay.
But it does some pretty cool things. In an effort to be inclusive, they changed certain characteristics of some of the original characters. The Black Ranger is no longer the black guy, and the Yellow Ranger is no longer the Asian girl.
Thank goodness.
But Zach was the best. Anyway,
This
sorry.
was a good thing. They still got the same name, so they're still Zach. Billy is probably the best character in the whole show. They put him he's autistic, which explains one of his more obnoxious character traits from the television show, how he always used all these big words. Now there's kind of a reason for that. In addition to him being smart, he's socially awkward. He doesn't know how to talk to other people. But he's also just straight up probably the best developed and most enjoyable character. They do a weird thing. Trini is bisexual, or it's implied that she's bisexual, which I don't know. I think they meant this to be some sort of like step towards representation, but it feels like a really weird inside joke, because if you watched the classic Power Rangers, the Yellow Ranger, of course, was a girl. But you know that the Power Rangers series used footage from these Japanese films where the Yellow Ranger was absolutely a guy. Which is why the Pink Ranger has a skirt and the Yellow Ranger doesn't.
Right.
So,
that makes sense.
like, it feels like making Trini bisexual might have been this weird sort of inside joke for this Yellow Ranger who was... if that's what they were going for, it's a terrible idea. And it's not the only one. This movie is the definition of not very good, but still a whole lot of fun. Because there's all sorts of really uncomfortable stuff. In the first 5 minutes of the movie, you've got Bryan Cranston in blue body paint dying naked in a ditch, and one of Jason's buddies masturbating a cow. And that's really uncomfortable. You've got Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa just hamming it up in some of the just weirdest scenes.
She's great though.
like her.
That almost makes me want to see it just because she's so great.
She's interesting. I don't know that she's good, but she's definitely interesting. But the thing is, by the end of the movie, you sure have Power Rangers getting into fistfights with putty patrollers in a rock quarry while everyone is doing just completely improbable martial arts. It was so fun. It was so much fun. Again, terrible, but great. Maybe amazing, but really bad. I am so conflicted on this movie, but it was a lot of fun. Honestly, I really quite enjoyed it. Something that I can be a little bit less wishy-washy about, though, is I've also been playing a crap ton of video games, which is kind of a first for me. I don't usually talk about that. And I say video games. Specifically video game. Specifically Persona 5.
What is this game?
It's so anime. It is like the most anime. So you are a high school student who is tasked with saving the world
Naturally.
while going to high school and romancing everyone. And
Like
oh
half
my
the
gosh,
animes I know. Anyway.
yeah, it is exactly like an anime. I bought it because Persona 3 happens to be one of my all-time favorite video games. It's one of the only games that I have actually put more than 40 hours into. I used to play a lot of JRPGs, and they typically go about 40 hours.
Yeah.
I put 80 hours into Persona 3 before my save file got corrupted, and I can't do it anymore. So I just looked up the end on YouTube. But I
sad.
love Persona 3, and Persona 5 got a lot of hype behind it if you are into this sort of thing. So I bought it, and it's interesting. I'm not terribly far into it yet.
Have you done any of the palaces yet?
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to start the third palace.
Okay.
Persona is a time management series, so you have a year. Your game lasts for a year, and every day you've got options. Am I going to go hang out with the cute girl who sits in front of me at school? Am I going to go work my night job at the burger barn? Am I going to invade this dude's subconscious and try to steal his heart? It's so weird.
So many options.
So many options, but you have a very specific time frame. You have to beat these individual levels. They call them palaces in the game. You have 30 days to do that, roughly. And the whole game lasts for a calendar year. So far, I don't like the story as much. The characters are pretty good. There's this weird sort of like prisoner motif that doesn't make any sense yet.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I think is really great about Persona 3 is that thematically it's very, very tight. It's a game about the inevitability of death.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything that you do in the game kind of leads towards that. You've got very limited amount of time to try to build relationships with people. You need to build relationships with people because the relationships that you build with people actually make you more powerful in combat, which is a nice game mechanic way of saying, you know, you've got a lot of stuff that you're going to do in your life that's really, really important, but you cannot neglect your personal relationships with people. And I'm going to spoil this game that's like a million years old and also a million hours long. So most of the people who are listening to this, if they haven't already played it, they're not going to. You die at the end of Persona 3. And that is unavoidable. Your character dies saving the world. And it's absolutely like a fitting ending. I don't think Persona 5 is going to have that same level of thematic unity throughout it because it's got all these weird motifs. It's got leftover game mechanics from earlier iterations of the series, and it doesn't feel like it's going to come together as well. Again, I'm still pretty early on in the game. I'm only like 20, 30 hours in.
Only.
But that said, this is the most fun I've had playing a Persona game. Rather than just walking around the dungeon, the game's got this criminal motif to it. So you guys, or your characters are basically psychic burglars. They break into people's brains, which turn into these giant palaces or mansions, and you like sneak through it. It's kind of like playing Batman, the Arkham games in like Predator mode.
Mm-hmm.
Except when you actually jump on the guy instead of immediately taking them out, you
It's
go into turn-based combat. And even the combat's pretty good for turn-based combat, because if you do it right, the enemies don't actually attack you back, so it's not just going back and forth and trading blows. You have to do this strategy. It's very much Pokemon. I use the wind attack against the plant monster, and it doesn't work. But if I use the fire attack against the plant monster, then it doesn't get a hit me. And if I take down all the monsters, then I can actually pull a gun on them and like hold them up for money. And so, again,
funny.
Mechanically, the game is so much fun that I'm willing to kind of overlook some of the thematic stuff that I don't think holds up quite as well. And who knows, maybe it'll come together really tightly in the end. But for now, overall, I am having a very good time with this game.
I've heard that the localization is a little rough.
Oh,
especially with
it's
some of the
bad. I am not your like typical otaku who, as Yahtzee Croshaw says, curses the roundness of his eyes. I like the game a lot. The
Hold on. There's a moment.
yeah.
Zero punctuation is wonderful.
It kind of is. And for the record, Yahtzee Croshaw did a review of Persona 5, and he actually really liked it, which
so rare.
says something, especially for a JRPG, because he does not like those.
There are 2 games this year that he kind of likes. Then
Yeah,
that's weird.
like right back to back, or really close. Yeah, because
This has been a fantastic year for games, guys.
yeah. And Persona 5's on that list. I mean, if you've got time for another 100-hour game after playing Breath of the Wild, Persona 5 might be one worth picking up. I have honestly been enjoying it. I have not sunk this much time into a video game in a long time. And my pants do not like me for it because I have not gotten any exercise since I bought this game. Anyway, yeah. Some fun stuff so far this year.
Well, it's not just Peachy Keen. It really is Peachy Keen. I'm not trying to downplay Steven's
you can
thing or anybody
downplay
else's
you can
thing.
downplay my game about finding
No.
the perfect waifu. It's okay.
I love those kind of games. I play Harvest Moon literally any chance I get.
Yeah, so
me just say,
you might like
I
the high
probably
school
would.
aspects of Persona.
I probably would.
I can't wait for Stardew Valley to come onto the Switch, just by the way.
Stardew Valley is so much fun. I've only bought it for the PC. I haven't bought it for the Xbox, but I am sure all of it's the same. As for myself, dear listeners, I'm trying to remember what the last time I was on a podcast. I feel like it's been like
Forever.
forever.
Or 2 months.
Or 2 months.
Oh.
Brady's got a better assessment, a more accurate, but who needs accuracy? So I'm just going to talk about things that I don't remember if I've talked about. Did I talk about seeing Logan? Because I saw Logan.
No, I don't think you talked about
So
that.
Aldo texts me right after he gets out of Logan. Aldo, who is unfortunately not with us tonight. And anyway, he says, you need to see Logan. And I'm like, I don't know. Rated R superhero violence isn't really my thing. I'm more
Yeah.
of a like PG-13 level of superhero violence.
Yeah, that was
And he's
me
like,
too.
no, it's about a cranky old man who has to take care of a little girl. And there is nothing that says Steven more than that. And he's not wrong. When you sell it like that, I really want to see Logan.
I thought it was pretty good. My husband had a problem with the ending, but
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. Because I'm not picky. I also saw Beauty and the Beast, the live-action remake. Basically, everything was okay. I wasn't thrilled with Emma Watson's performance, only because, like, her acting's fine, but, like, her singing was so badly auto-tuned that it was distracting for me.
I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard the soundtrack. I've not actually seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Emma Watson's fine. Once you, like, get past the fact that she doesn't sound like the cartoon with someone who's really very clearly a trained singer. I actually don't know who does the original
Paige
singing
O'Hara.
voice. Okay, she's great.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Watson's fine. I don't really have a problem with her at all. The part in the soundtrack that made me just tap out hard was Be Our Guest.
Really?
Ewan McGregor is fine as Lumiere. At least, you know, he would be fine if it weren't for the fact that freaking Jerry Orbach was the original and
true.
just completely stole the show. But even that, like, wasn't it. What it was hearing Mrs. Potts sing in the...
Who does
And
Mrs.
it wasn't,
Potts?
and it wasn't Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. It doesn't matter who she is because she's not Angela Lansbury. No, it's freaking, what's her name? Oh my gosh.
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson, who's amazing.
She's one of the best actresses alive today.
But she cannot fill Angela Lansbury's shoes when it comes to singing.
Nobody can, but it didn't bug me. That didn't bug me.
I
Maybe
was
it should have,
so
but it didn't
mad.
bug me. I was
so
totally fine.
mad.
I still can't think of anyone who is a proper replacement for Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Lovitz in Sweeney Todd.
I feel like if you put Angela Lansbury in a role, trying to replace her in that role is kind of like...
You don't replace her. You got to do your own thing
Right.
because she was such a distinct performer, especially musically. I mean,
She still is. She's going to be in Mary Poppins next year.
what? I didn't
She's
know
gonna-
this.
You know how there was a role? You know how there was the bird lady at
Yes.
St. Paul's? I'm guessing she will have a similar type role. It's not a remake. It's a sequel.
Oh,
I'm
so
guessing it'll be a
fun,
similar
though.
type role because the lady who played the bird lady in the original movie was like a famous actress from generations before.
this would all make sense.
And so, yeah. And we're trading. We get Dick Van Dyke again playing the son of his other character, also an old banker. So we'll get more of that good physical comedy. And we're trading, you know, the handyman role for Lin-Manuel Miranda. So that
Which
he'll
is
be,
fine,
he'll
I
be
guess.
That's good. That's
he's
good.
playing Jack, who I'm guessing is Bert but not Bert. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
because it's about Michael as an adult with
Yeah.
his own children, and Mary Poppins comes back, and it's Emma Blunt, and I
Emily
wasn't.
Blunt.
I was
Emily
like
Blunt is
Emily Blunt. What did I
amazing.
say? Emma Blunt.
It's okay. We've been talking
Thompson,
about
Emma
M's.
Thompson. Yeah. I'm really excited for it because it's yeah.
I am just now kind of picturing or hearing in my head Angela Lansbury singing "Feed the Birds," and it kind of made me cry a little bit. I teared up. I got a little misty just
That was
thinking
Disney's.
about
That was Disney's favorite song. Like when he had a rough day at the office, he would walk down the hall and have one of the Sherman Brothers play that song for him, and he was like, "All right," and go back to working and smoking, and then die.
Have you guys seen Saving Mr. Banks?
Yes.
Only 1,000 times.
One of
So
my
good.
favorite moments is when Emma Thompson, Dick Van Dyke, and she does this thing with her mouth while she's trying to formulate the words in her mouth. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Curtis and I do that literally all the time to each other.
See, as like an animation nerd, I was like, I wanted to see more of like the the big artists, the 9 old men like doing their thing, but it wasn't. That's not what the movie was about. So,
Sure.
and that's okay because it was still wonderful. And my wife's the biggest Mary Poppins fan ever. Like she has the umbrella. I think I'm gonna order her one of those measuring tapes for Mother's Day, where it says practically perfect.
Hey Liz, don't listen to this.
She doesn't listen to this.
It's
My
okay,
wife
Amanda
I don't-
doesn't either.
Yeah.
My husband
Sorry.
does.
But I don't know how we got off on the Poppins tangent.
I don't know either, but
How did
I'm
we
totally
not?
cool with
Beauty
it.
and the Beast.
Because
Oh, right, yeah, because Disney's just, second verse, same as the first, and just
Dumbass.
churning them out.
other than that, I've just been rewatching a lot of stuff on Netflix because I go home from work and I don't want to do anything, so I watch Netflix.
I never watched Malcolm in the Middle when it was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good show.
It is a really
so
good
Yeah, that
show.
one holds
really
up pretty
funny.
well.
Yeah, it's still, it's really funny.
It's kind of different to watch after you've watched all of Breaking Bad. Can I just say?
I haven't seen it, and so I'm not, having that, oh, what a goofy guy. He becomes a meth dealer. I'm not kidding. Plus, I heard that, the joke is that he gets put in witness relocation, and that's where
whole thing
I'm not
comes
in the middle
into play.
picks up. So, But,
That's true, though.
yeah.
I've been watching Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt to prepare
Unbreakable.
For season 3?
Season 3, which the trailer just came out like a week ago or something.
Females are
Season
strong
2
as-
wasn't quite as good.
No, it wasn't. But I'm hoping that
did-
season 3 will
They did some stuff. Some stuff was interesting.
Some stuff was interesting.
I think that they were trying to put in as many funny reference jokes as they could, and some of them just didn't play out.
And well,
all that well.
and some of them were just a little bit too late. Like referencing the Jinx
Right.
was about 8 months too late.
But Mikey's in the second season, and I love him. He's my favorite
He's a good
Titus's-
character.
boyfriend. He's the best.
I watched it as soon as it came out, and I don't think I've gone back and watched it again.
Just remember
Tracy
that
Ullman's in it, right?
Tracy. No, it's
Oh,
my
gosh,
gosh,
what's her
what's her
name?
name?
Oh,
No, it's Carol Kane.
Carol
and
Kane.
Tracy, but Tracy Ullman was also in it, right?
No, it's the chick from Strangers with Candy. What's her name?
I'm gonna look it up.
John's
Amy
gonna look it up.
Sedaris.
If I'm right, I'm
Is it
gonna
Amy
do a
Sedaris?
dance.
It's probably Amy
Yep,
Sedaris.
it's Amy Sedaris.
She's the best.
Unbreakable.
I started watching Broadchurch for the first time.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
I
that
can't watch it anymore because I have a baby.
Did I talk about Broadchurch at one point on this podcast?
I think
Yes.
so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I love me some British detective shows, and Broadchurch I'm super proud of because I
Dang it,
guessed
it
who the
is.
killer was halfway through.
Dang it.
did you?
It is Amy Sedaris. Dang it.
It's okay. They look very
I
similar.
was so sure I was
They
right.
look very similar.
I was gonna say, yay, she's back on TV, but it's not very good.
But anyway, yeah, Broadchurch, fantastic show. I
Yeah,
love that
that's
one.
good.
I think I have it figured out too, but I'm not sure yet because I always think that I do, and then I second guess myself, and then I end up right most of the time, and then I'm like, dang it, why didn't I just trust my instincts? It's like when I go see an M. Night Shyamalan movie, I
the
figure it
second
out.
season is very good too.
I have actually not seen the second
Very
season
good.
of Broadchurch.
I'm like episode 6 of season 1, so
It's excellent.
that's me, everybody. And I
Good
think
stuff.
before we get into the topic of today's podcast, which is going to be musical episodes of television shows, because I realized I hadn't brought that up until just now.
We alluded to it, and it's gonna be the episode title, so we'll figure it out.
It's gonna get there. I think we'll take a little bit of a breaky poo, even if it's just because I need one.
I think this is a
Yeah.
good decision. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna drink it, and it's gonna be delicious.
Ha!
You're not
Goodbye.
allowed to have water.
Oh,
Worst.
this is horrible. It's Worst break ever.
Whatever, he's going to give you Mountain Dew.
Right? Like,
And you'll love it, damn it!
Drink your
Come back, I'll be
ration.
talking like 5,000 miles per hour.
Was much more like a kid's show.
Yeah.
Whereas
never
the rest of the
stopped-
series, I know that it never
stops
stopped being a kid's show. But the
Which-
first season especially didn't delve as much into some of the more quote-unquote mature themes that developed later in the series, I guess.
That's fair.
Which I think is why I, in a lot of ways, prefer Korra.
Ultimately, I just don't think Korra is as good. And I actually think it's because Avatar was a kid's show. That said, season 2 of Korra ends with what is essentially a giant monster fight in the middle of the bay. And freaking love that.
The third
Plus,
season. I still haven't
Korra-
seen the fourth one, but the third season's cool.
Korra has the Juan episode, which is probably my favorite episode
Oh,
of either
yeah.
series.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's definitely not my favorite
Cor-
of both
Have you
series, but it's
seen any of
pretty
them?
good.
None of them?
I haven't seen any of the Korra.
Just watch them and just... Have you seen... But you've seen Last
I've seen all of
Airbender?
Avatar, yeah.
I think Korra is different enough to be... Like, it's still... I love it. It's great.
Uh-huh.
That was one of those
I
that,
don't-
I feel like I could watch, but I'm like, kind of passive
You'll
about
get
it.
around to it, and then when you do, you'll binge it. You'll just want to watch them all. 'Cause
Is it
they're
on
really
Netflix
good.
or anything?
Nope.
No, they're on Nick.com, though. Or Amazon Prime.
Oh, I have Amazon
The first
Prime.
three.
I
The
could
first
totally
three,
do
yeah.
that.
The first 3 seasons.
You can buy the DVD sets all over the place. They are dirt cheap.
And it'd be worth seeing. Worth buying. I mean.
Deeds
I haven't
done
seen the
dirt
fourth one.
cheap.
And people are like all up in arms about the end of it, and I'm like, I don't care.
But you know what else
Tell me the
people...
story.
The thing that they're up in arms about is literally
The
like
last shot.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's not literally 20 seconds because they seed the relationship throughout the 4th season. But it's whatever.
Who
You know what else
cares?
people get up in arms about? Musical episodes of television shows.
Oh, we've been on to. Oh. Hi.
And we're back! Look at that!
Weird.
Hope y'all had a really nice break. Ours was, I don't actually know how long. Yours was probably about 5-10 seconds. I don't know.
I drank some water. We talked about video games some more. It was a good
We
time.
basically talked about everything that we talked about down here, but upstairs.
But only more excitedly.
So, is that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, guys?
Yeah, John.
The 7
shut up.
different
It's
versions
really
of
good.
Wolverine.
It
Still don't
is
get it.
good. This is from someone who like could not get into anime for years and years and years. This is what made me go, okay, I can accept this and move forward.
That is super fair. So, I think we should just go ahead and get the ball rolling. I'm going to go ahead and start with Mr. Steven.
Ah!
Yeah,
Ah!
I'm ready for you.
What are we doing?
I want you to tell me, and the audience, what your favorite musical episode of a television show is.
Oh man,
And why?
This is super easy, you guys. It's like, oh my gosh. So, you know, Powerpuff Girls is a thing, right?
It is.
And you know that they had a lot of like different one-off musical
Yeah.
numbers throughout the run of the show. Did you know that they had a full-on rock opera musical episode?
Is this
I
the
did.
one where they become a band called the Beat Alls?
No, you see,
No.
everybody says this.
Okay.
The Beatles, if I remember correctly, because it's actually been a long time since I've watched it, there is no music in the Beatles. There's no song.
Really?
They just drop all of the Beatles references throughout the
Oh.
whole thing, but there is actually no song. No, so there's an episode, from what I understand, and it's been a while since I've looked this information up, so I might be misremembering things. This is a really difficult episode to track down, unless you just go out and like buy the DVDs or watch it on certain illicit websites, which is how I first encountered it.
Arr.
All of
dun,
Powerpuff
dun.
Girls is on Hulu.
I wonder if this
Netflix.
episode is. It's called See Me, Feel Me, Know Me. Know Me spelled Gnomey. And it is a riff on Tommy, the musical. Because there's, a recurring motif throughout Tommy, where Tommy says, see me, feel me, know me. But, like, the songs themselves aren't lifted from Tommy. There's no Pinball Wizard
Right.
parallel or anything like that. The thing that I'm critical about with musicals, I love musicals, by the way. If you don't know this about me, I am super, super fond of musicals. I love the performance. I love these fantastic musical numbers, the songs. I love the costuming and the set design. And I love musicals. The thing that I hate about musicals more than anything else is the plot. Because frequently the critique that you hear about musicals is that they stop the plot to tell you how they're feeling about the plot.
Mm-hmm.
That tends to be what musicals do. See Me, Feel Me, Know Me does not do that. The plot actually develops through these songs. The plot of the episode is all of the villains that the Powerpuff Girls face team up to take over Townsville. And the Powerpuff Girls show up and they get defeated because there's just too many bad guys for them to beat.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, this gnome shows up. And he's wearing these like sinister red robes, and he speaks with this very booming, dramatic voice. And he offers to solve the Powerpuff Girls' problems for them, but they have to give him their powers. So the deal is, I will get rid of all evil in the world, and you will give me your superpowers. And of course, like the gnome winds up actually being a bad guy. And oh man, this episode is so creepy, even for Powerpuff Girls, that they took it out of the rotation. They did not broadcast this, except for maybe once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some guy on YouTube do a review of this episode, and I just went, well, I have to go watch it now. And I found it online, and it's great. I now own the complete series of Powerpuff Girls, and See Me, Feel Me, Know Me is the episode I go to more than anything else on the whole series. So, not only is this like my favorite musical episode of a television show, it is perhaps my favorite episode of one of my favorite television shows. When the gnome actually starts singing,
Mm-hmm.
he goes through this like dark ritual. The song is just like triumphant for him, but it's still very sinister. There's a little bit of like ominous chanting going on, and the singer's got this really bombastic rock voice. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds just like Jack Black. So I go and I look it up. It's not Jack Black, but the part was written for Jack Black.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't get Jack Black, so they got the next best thing. They got a Jack Black impersonator, Jess Harnell,
Oh, there you go.
the voice of Wacko Warner, and several other characters.
And I think he actually is in a band too.
Oh, he is absolutely in a
Yeah.
band. He's great. Honestly, I like him as the gnome more than I do as Wacko. This one stupid episode where he is just this creepy guy. I freaking love it. The best song in the whole thing. This is not my favorite movie musical or television show musical song,
Mm-hmm.
but it is my favorite song in the episode. After the Powerpuff Girls trade their powers away, their father, Professor Utonium, shows up and gets after them because they are not doing what they need to do to beat the gnome. And he sings again. It's this super creepy song where he compares all of the people in Townsville to cattle, and he's dressed up like a butcher. And the episode is shot like a music video, so there are all these creepy shots of Professor Utonium swinging a cleaver around and chopping into meat and dancing with steaks on a barbecue grill, which is a little weird. The song's called Freedom Beef, and it's super silly. But ultimately, the whole show or the whole episode has all of this stuff going on. It's about free will. It's about good and evil, and do they need each other, and are people willing to trade their independence for security, and so many weird little themes in this goofy Tommy ripoff. I love it. I love it so much.
I know that I have seen this episode, but I know I've only seen it like once online somewhere.
Yeah,
Because it wouldn't have been, like you said, it wouldn't have been in circulation very long.
No, like I said, I think they only showed it once on Cartoon Network, and people just thought it was too dark, and it's not really. I mean, some of the imagery is a little dark, but come on, like Samurai Jack is chopping people's heads off,
Right, and considering a lot of other things that were on television, even around that same time, you know what I mean? Kids aren't really going to be as fazed by that as some would think.
Yeah.
It's more the grown-ups being like, that's too graphic for my child, and the kid's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Do the people have to be freedom beef? I love it. Super good.
I like it.
Very cool.
How's it about you, Johnny boy?
I originally thought, and I think someone else would probably take this, but I thought about Scrubs. I'm not going to talk about Scrubs because I figured that someone else would want to more.
I just wish. Okay. Anyway.
But no, the way that they did, and like we were talking about something I wanted to bring up was, does the musical work in the show or is it a gimmick? Scrubs, they explained it in a way that was acceptable, and it was such an entertaining one that we'll get to that later. But I picked season 8. Episode 13 of The Simpsons.
Ooh!
I knew somebody was going to pick Simpsons.
Simpsons is perfect because there are songs all the time. All the time, and it fits, and it's funny. I'm guessing I haven't watched the last several seasons. I try to, and I just
Yeah.
It's hard to fall into.
like I want them to be good, and I still want it to be on the air, but I also just
It's not as bad. It's just not as clever.
Yeah. So season 8 I love start to finish. It's hilarious. This is episode 13. I'm just, the stutterer's anticipation.
Bubbity, that's all, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Simpson califragilistic grunt shuss. Go! Which features, of course, Sherry Bobbins.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry Bobbins. Wait, is that like? Don't you mean? Did you say Mary? But no, I'm an original creation. Like Ricky Rouse or Ronald Buck.
Oh my gosh, I remember this episode.
So Marge is stressed out because everyone is making her do everything.
Like always.
And they decide they need a nanny. And who should come in but Sherry Bobbins? And all the songs are just little takes
Anyone but him.
Let me get away with murder. I love it because I gotta bring up the songs because they're so good. But it's my
Buy me a beer.
$2 a glass. Help me get. Who am I? What does he say? Who am I kidding? I'll drink turpentine. And I love it's one of my favorite Simpson moments. Groundskeeper Willie is playing the part of Bert in one scene, where he's a one-man band, but he's singing, "I'm a maniac, that's for sure, and I'm dancing like I've never danced before." She comes up, "Sherry Bobbins, you know Groundskeeper Willie? Aye, we're engaged to be married back in Scotland until she got her eyesight back. Suddenly the ugliest man in Glasgow wasn't good enough for her. It's nice to see you, Willie." That's not what you said the first time you saw me. So good. So every time it just kills me. So of course the Simpsons are awful, and Sherry doesn't last very long. And they end with a song, "We Like Things the Way that They Are," and Sherry floats off. And you think we'll see Sherry Bobbins again? Sure we will, son. And she gets sucked into an airplane turbine. Instead of bird strike, it's Sherry Bobbins strike. But just very funny takes on the songs, and just poking fun at Mary Poppins, which it seems to come up a lot now that I'm married and my wife loves that movie, but we also have a baby, and so there's those songs are ones that we'll sing all the time. She plays the Stay Awake song for our daughter to go to sleep, and that works. And anything that works with a child is what you cling to and use all the time. But we'll get around to favorite songs later, right? The Simpsons, you could pick a handful of Simpsons episodes and they'd be great examples. That one in particular just tickles me because it's really funny and great. Kind of takes on all the original Mary Poppins songs. I like they have the monorail episode. I love the Music Man. So the whole monorail episode is great.
See, I don't love the
that one.
Troy McClure playing as the human in the Planet of the Apes musical.
Man, oh my gosh.
Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas.
Can I play the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before.
I just
I think I heard that before I heard
the
the Amadeus song. So, yeah, that's a classic. I don't know, there's there's the whole episode, all singing, all dancing, and it's they're mad that a Clint Eastwood Western is actually a musical. It's I'll paint your wagon. Let's paint your wagon. Yeah,
Gonna paint it fine.
For the record, Paint Your Wagon is actually a terrible show.
Because the wood is pine.
And any... Homer just singing, like any little, like when he becomes a food critic, he's like, I like pizza, I like bagels, I like pretzels with something
Any of his
and
little
beer.
vignettes.
I like something. I could even eat a baby deer. La 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 la. See the baby deer. We get the picture. Sorry, that's when he goes on a hunger strike, and that might be one of my favorite episodes of all time ever.
So good.
It's a good Duffman episode. So, go watch the Sherry Bombings again. Season 8, episode 13. Simpson Califragilisticexpialidocious. My runner-up was, of course, my musical from Scrubs,
But I think we'll be hearing about that.
Yeah.
We might be. We might be.
You don't know.
We don't know. It's a mystery here. Hey, Brady, why don't you tell us what you're going to talk about?
So I've had a little bit of a dilemma trying to come up with my favorite, because there are actually several that I love. I love.
Community.
Yeah. I love in season 6 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer the Once More with Feeling.
That might be. I kind of wanted to do more reading about this. That might be the first one.
Oh no,
there are
they-
old shows like a musical episode has been a thing. Like Happy Days had it. Like
did they?
I looked it up because if you go to IMDb to the actual site, not the mobile site, you can look at plot keywords and you can click on musical episode and then it'll just bring up
Populate
Yeah,
list
it's
of all of them.
great.
Oh, nice.
I looked through about a dozen and I was like, I don't know these. I'm going to stick with my picks.
Right.
And then I also thought about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with The Nightman Cometh, which is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's Charlie Day's character writing a rock opera in order to try to trick the waitress into accepting a marriage proposal. It's amazing. But what I had to land with is something that we have actually talked about on this podcast before when we talked about our favorite Christmas specials, and that is Community's regional holiday music.
I knew you were going to pick that one. I wish I put money on it.
Oh man. So we've talked about this one a lot before, but basically there's this whole undercurrent of something bad happened to the Glee Club, and the Glee Club leader is so creepy. Taran Killam playing Mr. Rad.
I love Taran Killam.
It's great.
Oh, he's good. But just everyone's song in that episode is absolutely amazing and perfect for them. When you have Annie's song, where Annie, her character is Jewish, and so her song is "Teach Me How to Learn About Christmas," where she wears a very skimpy Santa baby outfit.
What? They exploit that character's figure?
Yeah,
That
amazing.
never happens except in like every episode of Community.
But
remember.
I absolutely love it because the entire song it's totally a Leah Michele number from Glee, where she's using this dumb baby voice and singing this seemingly innocent song about I don't know about Christmas, will you teach me? Except for it ends with boopy doopy doop doop sex.
I think you brought that up last time, and I think we had the same reaction last time.
What a way to end a number.
Yeah.
Speaks to my soul.
But
Subtle things for losers.
Speaks to something.
Everything about this episode is just totally on point. You have the whole pod people angle where everybody's slowly changing and being taken over by the Glee Club, and then you have at the end some of my favorite lines in all of Community that are from the Dean, where they're putting on their regional concert, their Christmas concert, and you have Britta, who everyone hates Britta because she's Britta, and the fact that Dan Harmon realized that after season 1 is one of the greatest things that could have ever happened to that show. But the entire time, Mr. Rad is like telling Britta, no, don't sing, no singing. You're a mute tree, and that's it. And so Abed convinces her that she can do the Mouse King for their concert, and she goes, "But I don't know any of the songs." And then Abed goes, "They're in your heart, Britta." And she goes, "Oh yeah, Doy." And so she runs out on the stage.
So funny.
And then you have the dean sitting there in the audience looking at his program. Britta's in this.
I forgot about that.
And then Britta starts singing, and it's totally horrible. And then Mr. Rad freaks out and tells her that she has to stop. She's ruining everything. And then you have the dean get up to try to calm everyone down to go, people, come on, let's let Britta sing her awkward song. Oh man, this episode is absolutely amazing. And just how it riffs on Glee so well is wonderful, and just there's so many layers to it. Oh, it's so good. Plus, it's the first time that I heard Donald Glover rap, and he absolutely was amazing in that. And and then that led me to Atlanta. So
All
it's a
right.
great show.
I think we all know where we're going next. If anybody who knows me knows anything. Oh, Brady's waiting in anticipation. It's not like we've already brought it up, John.
Are we by chance going to the?
Everything comes down to poo.
I was gonna try to.
We are.
It's Sky Love.
That's what it is.
So, my musical from Scrubs is my favorite musical episode of a television show ever. There are many television shows that have songs in them that are also great, but this one I actually bought on iTunes. It's basically one of the only things that I have ever bought on iTunes with real person money and not gift cards. That tells you how much I love this episode. It has all of the best songs. The storyline basically goes, JD and Elliot are at a park, and they come across a woman who faints. And, the woman wakes up, and suddenly everyone around her is singing. And she speaks, and suddenly she's singing too. Because she's got some kind of condition where suddenly everybody around her is going to start singing. And so the rest of the episode, every time that character is in a room and the other characters come in, they are singing a variety of wonderful songs. Some about poo, some about guy love, some about being from...
A freaking Puerto Rican or Dominican.
There's
Oh
just
my
so many
gosh.
wonderful things about this episode, because none of them are even really strong singers, but none of them are so distractingly bad except for maybe Elliot, because I'm a pass.
Yeah.
Sarah Chalk, I'm talking to you. I am.
Sarah Chalk is listening to this.
She's our
She's
biggest
our fifth
fan.
listener.
She's wonderful and everything else.
I do like you, Sarah Chalk, just don't sing. Thanks. Okay, bye. And it's a really heartfelt episode too, because in the end she gets the surgery done or whatever, and so she's not gonna die, and then she doesn't hear the singing in her head anymore, but then she wonders, if she misses it a little bit. So it's my favorite musical episode by far. Anyone have any contributions to that?
I love that episode, and I think
It's
they made
amazing.
it. They made, with her condition, they made it work, because when she comes into the room, when she leaves the room, there is it goes off and on, and then they ask her at the end, what did they say? Who is the best singer? And don't be influenced by the fact that I went to drama camp as a kid.
And it's JD, of course.
Yeah,
who says that.
yeah.
Don't be influenced by the fact that I went to drama camp.
I love that there was a Dr. Cox rant song with a little solo from the janitor. Everything comes down to poo, of course, is hysterical.
I love the dance numbers
Yeah.
so much, because there's not really that many big dance numbers, but
Yeah.
everybody throws themselves into everything.
Doctors, patients, nurses,
Dead guys.
And then Doug gets stuck in the parking lot and just leaves the cadaver in the middle of I really liked that one a lot. It stands out as all musical episodes when you think about it's it was my first thought, of course, because it's just unique and really funny, and stuff still it's still the other stuff that's going on, characters are moving, Carla wants to go back to work after having a baby. Gonna miss you, Carla, gonna miss you
around here.
and then Ted gets to sing because he's actually a singer.
Actually, really good.
Yeah.
Well, he has a real band.
Yeah.
The group that he sings with in Scrubs is his real life band.
Yep.
Also, he is Christopher Lloyd's nephew.
Really?
Sam
And
Lloyd.
yet nobody is surprised. Because he looks like Christopher Lloyd.
See, there's a Christopher Lloyd who's a producer, writer, and showrunner
Mm-hmm.
that I always think whenever like Modern Family comes up, I'm like, oh, Christopher Lloyd also does it. Nope, wrong, different Christopher Lloyd. So I've given up on seeing the same last name and thinking
like,
that there's always a
no.
connection. It's like,
That's funny.
So the Scrubs episode, I've actually seen this,
Mhm.
and I remember the first time I was watching it, and the woman's about to go into surgery, and Dr. Cox just looks at her and sings, "You're going to be okay." And they've got this whole song where it's
Mhm.
like, "We swear to you, we're going to be okay." And I'm getting like super misty because I do cry a lot. And then JD comes and is like, "We hope."
right as the mask comes down.
It's like, darn you, JD.
I love that it's both a really touching episode and so hilarious.
You know, that's
Guy
got
Love
to
is great.
that's the way to do, I think, a medical show.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you can really focus on the drama, but I mean, if you're going to focus on the comedy, you still need a lot of that emotional poignancy, and sometimes even the tragedy. I mean, Scrubs is just a bodier somehow version of MASH,
Mm-hmm.
and MASH ran for how many years, and Scrubs
Like 10
ran
million.
for how
Yeah.
many years?
Like
Like, it's a
10.
formula that works really well.
Absolutely.
Just take a look at Dr. Cox. He's one of the most tragic characters.
He's not that tragic.
When Brandon
if I'd-
Fraser's character.
Okay. Oh, that's the worst episode. Where do you think you are right now?
I love when he commits to the bit and he's pretending to be a marionette puppeteer and he falls off the counter because the girl walks away. One of the few things I like Brendan Fraser in.
I like him all the time.
Fraser.
Yeah, he's pretty good in that show.
But
I do like that
It is a
episode of
wonderful
Scrubs.
episode.
It sure is.
that someone's trying to sell me on the later seasons and I'm like, like it wasn't different enough to be its own thing and it wasn't the same enough to be a continuation.
You know, I kind of stand by my 3-season rule. For the most part, most television shows are really only good for about 3 seasons. Sometimes it's the first 3 seasons.
Scrubs, like I'd say 5, 6 solid seasons.
I would say so,
I
too.
really
Yeah.
only like the first 3, honestly.
How's it feel to be wrong, Steven?
I wouldn't know.
Oh,
Oh,
wouldn't you though?
burn. Now, along with our favorite musical episodes, do you guys have any favorite, like, songs from musical
Can
episodes?
yeah, I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
It's Guy Love.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about it.
Yeah.
And I don't have much to say about it other than it's like of all of the songs that I have heard from these musical episodes of television shows, I don't sing any of them
Mm-hmm.
except for Guy Love.
It's so good.
It's so
so
frequently
Anytime-
relevant
Anytime,
too.
anytime like two dudes hang out for more than like an hour, then it's like, oh, you guys are like, you know, it's Guy Love. It just like it's referenced so much.
You're the only man
Yeah.
who's ever been inside of me.
Whoa! I just
Whoa,
took out his appendix.
Yeah, that's
I love
pretty.
their
So
nicknames for each other too, and he's like, I'm gonna call him Black Whale. Black Whale, you rang. I knew you liked it.
Their relationship with each other is just the
It's
best.
one of
And
the
then he's
best
like-
parts of that show.
Dude, it's like it makes it sound like we're married. Dude, we're a little married. No, and I love it. And their sex gongs.
Oh my gosh.
That's the best. Yeah, JD.
Oh man,
So,
such a great show.
Is there any other one really that anybody could think of that they love more than that one?
oh yes, absolutely.
Tell me.
If we're done talking about Guy Love or about that episode.
I think that
That's all I got to say about Guy Love.
it's
Brady,
the
I
best.
think you could sing this along with me. There's a show that I love that also fits music in seamlessly, and this particular song stands out because it's a good song, as well as being really funny, and it's a great episode too. Of course, Electric Love, in the Topsy episode of Bob's Burgers. So Louise
They'll
is
say autopsy at my autopsy.
They say, Tom. The best part is that it's Kevin Kline and Megan Mullally, like really great actors, singing this ridiculous song. Okay.
Electric love.
So the whole premise: Louise is getting ready to turn in her volcano science project, which she used the year before because it's science fair and it's dumb. Finds out her teacher has left, and she has a new teacher who hates volcanoes. Comes in on the first day, says, I'm Mr. So-and-so, and I only have one rule for science fair, no volcanoes. And she's like, hey, okay, look, I already got this approved, so it's like grandfathered in, right? Oh, is this a paper mache? Oh, no, I'm stomping on it, and rips her volcano.
Oh,
He's
let me guess. Do you put baking soda and vinegar in there?
Oh, yes, actually. Oh, no! Yeah. So, he's a Thomas Edison enthusiast, impersonator, and, like, that's his whole deal. So he encourages her to do something about Thomas Edison, and there's another kid in class doing Thomas Edison. So, the librarian, who's played by,
Billy Eichner.
Billy Eichner, who's great. He's like, oh, yeah, Thomas Edison book's over there. Topsy! What? Did you say Topsy? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Topsy! And so, come to find out, Topsy was an elephant that Edison electrocuted to show that what, like, probably Tesla's
his AC current.
his method was safer when really it was just crap, and he would do this all the time. And Edison, really, when you look into him, he was a good businessman, but ruthless and not, a great guy. And yeah, anyway. But, so she decides that she's going to expose it. Well, Gene wants to be involved, and Gene wants to do a song. And he's, like, trying to come up with something about Topsy. He's like, Topsy. Like, he's, like, going through rhymes and stuff. And then they realize, oh, okay, well, I can't sing. Oh, no, I can't sing. He's like, he can't sing. Tina can't sing. He's going to play Edison. She's going to play the elephant. And Louise is going to sneak in this song as a love song between the elephant and Edison, but really is going to expose him for what he was. Because that's what Louise does. It brings havoc. Well, the teacher gets wind of it and bans it. Well, she has it all rigged, and they do it anyway. So behind the curtain, since the adults are not supposed to help, is Kevin Kline and Megal Mullally singing. And it's I love it. They'll say Thomas Edison, he's the man to get us into this century. And that man is me. They'll say, autopsy at my autopsy, and no one could be more shocked than me. But I've never noticed the curve of her trunk, and I never noticed his electric junk, and we might just have found electric. And so at first it's just him and his little Casio keyboard, and they're singing, and they're like, oh, that's a catchy song, and like, oh, you guys could sing in my musical. And then he gets the choir involved, and he gets kids with instruments involved, and so it's like this really big chorus singing. They're like, wow, Gene did this? This is really good. Wow. And then Louise bursts in, and this is what really happened. This man, Thomas Edison, sentenced Topsy, that beautiful elephant, to die by electrocution. And then flips the switch. I love she's with Teddy's been in the basement the whole episode, and she has him on walkie-talkie. Hit it! Is that you, Louise? Hit it! I've been down here so long. What's it like out there? Are people still the same with their funny ways? Teddy, hit it! All right, the thing we're doing. And then Tina fakes her death because they thought it might actually electrocute her, because it did in the practice. But it's a great song, and I love how Bob's Burgers will end the episode with the song that they did during the show. Some of them are like, keep me quiet, or lifting up the skirt of the night, which I won't sing the lyrics to that one.
I think we understand.
That's from the episode Sheesh, Cab Bob, when he's a cab driver and he ends up making a lot of transvestite friends.
As anyone
The Farts Will Set You Free song.
Oh my gosh! From the Fart School for the Gifted.
It's that ass from your gas. It's that toot in your chute.
Wait, I think you got that backwards.
The gas.
Got it. Okay.
Got it.
Because farts are liberty. Yeah, that's the best part. And they get to the end of the Topsy song, and he's like, wow, Jeannie, you didn't have any fart sounds in there. Oh, I forgot the fart sounds!
So, I've never actually seen Bob's Burgers.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
I just ruined an episode that's so good for you.
You're fine. It seems like it's more of a guy show. You know how there are like guy shows and
my
not
sister
guy shows?
loves it, and she's very against things that are like dude-esque, and she loves it.
What's
Do you know
the
why?
ratio of
I
poop
also
jokes versus
kind of
not?
don't like it, so there's that. And everybody goes quiet because I've disappointed y'all again.
It's because this wet blanket is just icky.
Is it like what's the ratio of poop jokes versus good
It's not
humor?
like crude like that.
Yeah.
It's more like funny pop culture references to stuff that you weren't expecting. To like the season 2 opener is a spoof of the Goonies called the Belchies, because the family's last name is Belcher, and Louise is the youngest with the bunny ears and everything. It's Kristen Shaw. She's wonderful. She's my favorite character, so of course I'm leaning towards her. But they go to this factory, this candy factory, because she's convinced that there's a treasure in there. And Teddy, their friend, the one of the adults in the show, draws this treasure map for her, which is really just a prank to draw a butt with some poo coming out of it. And this is a bad example because that's not really it's not a poo joke show, but there's a poo joke right there. Anyway, they don't really find anything, but then later it turns out there was treasure the whole time, and Cyndi Lauper does the end credit song, and it's called "Treasure in the Butt." I'm not selling my point of it not being a poo joke. Taffy butt, there's treasure in the butt. They find. I can't explain the whole thing. There's a taffy monster. Anyway, it's a really funny show. I would just start at the beginning and watch them all because there are a lot of really funny episodes. But it's one of those where the more you know the characters, the funnier it is. And there's a lot of music in it. There's I want to say there are famous people who have come in.
Lauren Bouchard, who's the creator, he's very, very musical. Like I'm pretty sure that he's had bands and stuff in the past. But yeah.
Dirty Ducks. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Sorry, that's the one where they go to visit their grandparents in Florida, and that's a song. Like at any moment there could be a song and going to Florida, 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 and they just
I do love random.
It turns out the senior
I'm
environment.
not afraid of sharks. I'm not afraid.
That's one of those. The senior community they're living in is for swingers, and so Bob, who didn't want to go visit his in-laws, is turned. He's like, "This is so great," because he thinks it's really funny. But
so good.
Boys for Now. They go to a boy band concert, and it's really, really funny. And Louise, who has not been into boy bands,
I want to hear your secrets. I'm so interested in you.
Do. Wow, 7 encores. They usually only do 6.
Oh my god.
Interesting. You're so interesting.
She gets into one of the band members. She hasn't been interested in boys up until this point. And she's screaming and fangirling out. She's like, I want to slap him in the face. Don't you want to kiss him? No. I want to slap him in the face.
I think I've seen a meme of that.
Okay,
for sure.
Sorry. Watch the show.
It's so good.
Tonight.
Do you have any favorite songs, Brady, from musical episodes?
Or did we just cover all of them?
I was just going to say, John had a good plethora.
Man.
No, that's cool.
Seriously, Bob's Burgers has so many great songs in it. But the one that I'm going to talk about is the one that affected me more emotionally than any other song that I've heard in the middle of a show in years. And that was from Legion. With...
Aubrey Plaza?
No.
Feeling Good? No?
No. Where it's Dan Stevens who plays the main character. He plays David. Yeah. They're in his mind because that's how this show works. But something seems off, and he's just sitting there with a banjo, playing and singing "Rainbow Connection," and it is the way that he sings it. It sends shivers up your spine.
In a good way or a haunting way?
In a haunting way, because you know that there's something really wrong, but you can't quite tell what it is.
Oh.
He's just kind of looking around as he sings, "Why are there so many?" You would never think that song would be creepy, but and it is
banjo music is a little creepy.
It is. It is played so effectively because it's the main girl, his girlfriend, basically going into his mind, and she knows that something has been wrong with him lately, and she can't quite tell what's going on. I think it's episode 5.
Okay, I was I've seen that,
and just the lighting of the scene where there are these red lights kind of coming in through it, and
it's the production value on that show is outstanding.
Just
in conveying tone and there's probably hints the way that something looks is probably an indication of what's really going on, because I still have no idea what's going on. But yeah.
But, there's not much else I can say about it since you guys have not seen it yet, and I assume
Sorry.
intend to at some point.
Legion, I need to put on my list and make it a bigger priority than I have, because
It
I don't
is so outstanding.
I don't love the character in the comics, but I do kind of love.
Different animal.
Yeah,
It's-
I love
yeah.
everything that I've heard about the show. Like, leave the comics completely aside, and the show interests me.
I have never been a fan of Aubrey Plaza, even though
Because you're wrong.
even
Sorry.
though Parks and Rec
You might
is
be
one of my
wrong.
absolute favorite shows of all
Just
time.
watch it as this way. Aubrey
But-
Plaza is a human cat, and Andy is a dog.
That's all you need.
But Aubrey Plaza deserves an Emmy for her performance in this
She
show.
deserves to be my girlfriend.
She is
I don't know why. I'm so
so
obsessed with her,
good.
but
Well,
I am.
there's another moment in an episode that John was just talking about.
That's what I thought.
The feeling good, which is also just amazing. Basically, it's
You know how cool the Bond opening sequences are, the
Yeah.
title sequences? It's basically just Aubrey Plaza by herself.
with
like,
amazing lighting and
just moving through the scenes of the show that we've been in so far, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like,
her dancing to that.
and you kind of get
To
more
to
sense of
feeling
like
good.
who her character
so
is. I
good.
still don't like. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's incredible, and like I haven't seen anything like it before. So.
I love really cool numbers in shows that don't seem like they would have something like that. Like there's an episode of House where Cuddy's having surgery or something, and under her drugs or whatever, she dreams this musical sequence of House singing "Come On, Get Happy," and it's so cool.
Speaking of
It's
like
so weird.
really
Hugh Laurie
good
can really
musicians,
sing, right?
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie's amazing.
Oh, he's awesome.
Um,
So for sure that.
So
I also
the first episode of Legion has a Bollywood dance number.
Ha! Sold. I
and
am
that's
so
what's funny.
interested
Great.
now.
it's great.
Which leads me into our next topic of conversation: shows that probably maybe shouldn't have musical numbers. I'm going to start this. Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Dang it! I wanted to make that joke. Dang it!
No.
Dang it! Now anything I
That's-
come up with will be lesser than that.
Can you even... I can't speak because I just feel like I'm mortified thinking about it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
didn't know this happened.
No, it didn't happen.
No,
No, it
I'm
didn't.
saying that it shouldn't.
That
Oh.
shouldn't.
And if it
Oh.
does...
But that would be amazing.
Oh my gosh!
Who
I thought
stabbed
we
who
found this
and
wonderful
where?
thing.
Who stabbed who and
No,
where?
no. If it was the thing, I think, as far as for the context of what that
Thanks,
show
Joe.
is, my faith in the show would be a little bit.
Yeah.
You're reaching. It's also been on for like 1,000 seasons.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Yeah.
they got rid of the original, so anything's possible.
well, that's
I love it on
because
30 Rock. They're like, what? They canceled? It was a tent pole! A tent pole!
it's because
I
Olivia
don't know.
Benson's the best. Anyway,
I
But-
don't know if there's. Yeah, she's cool.
NBC has been on a roll lately, so just as a side note.
that was Brady Pokes then.
Well, I have one that's not a joke, because this show actually did have a musical episode, and I don't think it worked. Have you guys ever seen Daria?
Yes.
It didn't work.
Yes.
That was on my
I love
list.
that.
I hate the musical episode of Daria.
I think it's fun.
Does she sing in monotone?
Yeah, like that's the thing is all the characters sing in their character voices, and their character voices are like the worst part of the show. Worse than the animation is actually the voices. I hate those voices. I love the show, by the way. Daria is among my favorite cartoons.
Yeah.
I don't ever really have the opportunity to talk about it, but I love that show. But man, the characters should not sing,
Well-
and it's just like
Not in those voices.
definitely not in
Or
those
like her
voices.
sister. Ugh.
There's like, are they? Is it supposed to be a parody? Part of me thinks it's supposed to be like a parody
I
of
think
all of
that
the
it
others,
is.
but it's not played. It's not played like a parody.
Well, that's why it was such a controversial episode at the time for a lot of Daria fans. Is they're like, "What is this?"
I don't
Why
like
is
it.
this?
I do not like it. It does not work for me. If you're gonna have a musical episode of Daria, it needs to focus on the band. Because
Oh.
they're great.
What is this? What is Trent's band's name?
Oh my gosh!
Dang it.
Why can't?
I could have told you any other moment except for right
Except
now.
for right now, they're going to change it.
Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
I think that we need to have another go around the table of our favorite fake bands in TV shows.
My
Oh.
fake band, my
You
favorite
all,
fake band,
everybody. You all, everybody.
my favorite fake band is the fake power band that I am making in my head with Marceline the Vampire Queen on guitar and Velma on drums. I don't quite know why, but I feel like Velma would be a pretty good
I
drummer.
could buy into that.
Every time I think about like what would be like a super group or whatever, it always ends up being Audioslave, and maybe Ben Folds comes in to play piano, but that
Mystical
wouldn't work.
Spiral.
No, it's just
Mystic Spiral.
Mystic
It's
Spiral.
Mystic Spiral. Oh my
Mystic
gosh,
Spiral.
they were going to have a spin-off show.
Really?
Yeah, there was
I will
there was
watch that.
an episode of the show that was supposed to be a stealth pilot for Mystic Spiral, and it never happened.
Trent was so great. Like,
Oh man,
Daria gets a job like selling peanut brittle at the mall, and Trent like keeps smelling it around her and wants to go to the mall, and his like bandmates there. Yeah, I gotta go to the mall too. I gotta get some scented candles. I can't shower without them. Okay, we're going to the mall. You're riding in the back.
you know nobody's gonna hear that on the recording.
Oh, watch Daria.
okay.
Whatever.
Just watch Daria. It's really good. But man, I
good.
hate the musical episode of
That's
Daria.
so okay. So Quinn's friend, who kind of talks like
Oh,
this,
Queen.
and
Queen.
yeah.
all
That's how she
of Quinn's friends who talk like that.
But the one that does this,
Oh.
there was a girl in sophomore year who talked like that.
Did
and
you
I
punch
thought
her?
She was joking. And I was like, hey, you've seen Daria, right? I didn't know what show that is. I was like, oh gosh, that's just you. I don't know what kind of
awkward
backpedaling I did. I don't think I said another word to her for the rest of the year.
I wouldn't.
Because I was just like, oh geez, you're just like that. So
Oh my god.
That's
it was
pretty
very
sad.
awkward. I don't know about shows that shouldn't have. Yeah, I mean SVU and what else? Like any other cop shows. just,
I have
you
a
know.
good one.
Tell us.
When?
60 Minutes.
60 minutes.
Why not? That'd be
Okay,
hilarious.
you know,
There's just
my-
a chorus of people going tick, 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 tick.
My first exposure to Hamilton was the spot they did on Hamilton on 60 Minutes.
Because Steven is 100 years old.
This might be true. I'm a 100-year-old man who really likes Dari.
Well, you look really good for 100 years old. I'll
Oh,
tell
shucks.
you what.
Keeping it tight. Can we go back to talking about songs that we do like, honorable mentions? Or are we still gonna?
I think we can do some honorable mentions.
I
as
don't see
long
why
as-
not.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
I think you already did like 12, but
A ding, a ding. What's that sound? It's the gravy boat. A coming around. Lynn, I already told you, Thanksgiving songs don't work. Look, you really. Okay. Steven, you don't watch Bob's Burgers either, do you?
No, I
Right.
do not.
Look, Emily and Steven,
Yes.
I implore you. I recommend a lot of things, and sure, some are not your cup of tea. This is my favorite show. It's so good. It's so funny and keeps being like quality. Like, oh, the season opener this time, Flu Louise. Oh my gosh,
so good.
That's another musical. Fortress is the worst. It is just.
Can I watch it on like?
You
I
can
have
watch the
Comcast.
first. I'm
Can I
sure
watch
that
it
you
on
like.
the first
demand?
4 seasons are on.
Not anymore.
I'm sorry, Xfinity.
Two on Netflix. They're probably moving them all to Hulu, and you can watch the current season. And like, it's still
Yeah,
gonna be
the
funny,
current
but
season is on Hulu.
Do you get any like continuity problems at all?
No,
No,
it's one of
although
those
they-
like the kids aren't going to age.
Yeah,
It's,
and-
you know.
Okay.
This season has one of the best episodes of the entire series, the Valentine's Day episode. with,
Oh, Bob, actually, it was
it's
actually really
so
touching, wasn't
good.
it? It was sweet.
like the escalating kisses at the end.
So. Tina. Okay, so all of the women on the show except Louise and maybe somebody, and Gail,
Yeah.
are voiced by men.
Yes, that I was
And that's,
aware of.
you know, and like the animation style in the beginning is like, ugh, but then it gets like better, and then you realize, okay, it's a choice to make it have this look. Okay,
Right.
you know, because that turned me off at first, and I thought it was like, you know, Family Guy type crude for being crude's sake. It's not. It's really smart and like really talented people involved. And there's a lot of music in it, so it ties into this podcast we're talking about. It's just a really good show, guys.
We spent a lot of time talking about Bob's Burgers
It's
today.
such a good show, and there's lots of music. Tina likes The Boy Across the Street. There's a
Jimmy Jr.
competing restaurant, Jimmy Pesto's Italian restaurant across the street. It's more successful because it's a pizza place and it's a
Yeah.
bar and all this, and that's an ongoing thing in the show. Jimmy Jr. wants to do a trampoline kiss with Tina on Valentine's Day. They're like, you know, full of puberty in middle school.
Full of
Well,
puberty.
Tina has wicked diarrhea and can't trampoline, and so the episode is, this is not. It's another poop joke. Okay, look, there's not another poop joke. It's really not.
You are invalidating everything you
You kind
said.
of are. It's pretty great.
I am not
The whole
interested in
episode
diarrhea.
walking so funny.
I'm not interested.
Walking like this.
Look,
Oh, it's
okay,
great.
I will find some episodes.
Yeah, find me something that's not poop related, please.
I don't think there's any poop
Does it
jokes
also
in
make
the-
you feel better that in this episode, Jean falls in love with the substitute,
The Italian
the
lunch lady.
Italian substitute lunch lady?
She's
who-
only speaking Italian and making chocolate with him. I forget who the actress is that plays, but like, there's a lot of famous people, and like, Kevin Kline is the landlord. He's a reoccurring character.
Yeah, he's in,
like a Bond
he's
villain.
in like every other episode.
He's got a cape and an eye patch. The odor games, the one, the water balloon fight.
So find me an episode where poop is not involved in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, well, if
I
Gene's
will
in the
watch it.
episode, he's a middle school kid that likes to make fart sounds. So okay, you just have to like
Just nix.
know that's gonna.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
It's tasteful. Look.
Hey, can I talk about another musical
Oh, okay, I guess we can
number
get
from
back on
another
topic.
television show that I really like?
Go for it.
Go.
Anytime Kristen Chenoweth sings in Pushing Daisies.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's talk about a show that should have had a full-on musical episode.
Yes.
Because they never did. The
absolutely.
music in Pushing Daisies, like the
Well, and then
score is always really
what's her
good.
name that played one of the ants? Who
yeah, I cannot remember the
who
actress's
was
name.
big in Broadway.
Little
and
Shop
Little
of Horrors.
Shop,
I
Yeah,
don't
oh,
like
she's
her,
so
though.
good.
I don't like her.
Well, how does it feel to be wrong, John?
Nope. This is one of those
It
times
all
where
comes
it's,
full
nope.
circle.
But no, like
Pushing that absolutely should have had a musical.
it never
episode.
the musical numbers that they had when Kristen Chenoweth would sing, they never just embraced the full-on musical sort of nature, which is really weird for that show.
I think they
Yeah.
would have if they had more.
There absolutely would have been a full musical episode.
Are
Although,
most of her songs like pining for the Pine Makers?
Yeah.
yes, most of them, they all are, except for the
that was
one
kind
time,
of her character.
the one time that she sings "Make a Little Birdhouse in Your Soul"
Yeah.
with the ant whose name I cannot remember.
Yeah.
But the one that really, well, I guess there are two that really, really get me. I love it at the end of the second season episode when she and the pie maker go to the Comfort Foods Bake Off, and she ends it by singing "The Flame." I absolutely love that. And then I think it's in season 1 when the ant sings "Morning Has Broken" after she's like willing to get out into the world and get back into the pool and start swimming with her sister. And it's so freaking, what is Cat Stevens? I hate Cat Stevens, but I love that song. I love it when she sings it. It's
Cat
so good.
Stevens.
I hate Cat Stevens. Cat Stevens is terrible.
So
But no, that's a freaking amazing.
no, I totally agree.
Can I just also make a call out to basically all of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
I can't get into it.
I haven't watched it.
Every episode.
Who's in the show? Is it anyone who's been in other stuff before?
Well, Rachel Bloom.
That's kind of a big one.
Yeah, she's the big one. Other than that, it's basically just a lot of little people because it's the CW, and what can you expect?
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
it's really
Cole
good.
Sprouse is on Riverdale. Big deal.
Oh, freaking Riverdale.
I like Cole Sprouse.
I have a sister who like eats up pop culture crap like that just with a big old spoon, and like she was like, yeah, so Archie's a thing, and I was like, yeah, you watching that? She's like, yeah, I am, and it was weird, but
So, to get back to reality, oh, there goes gravity. Do we think I'm hilarious? I don't know if anybody here understands.
I laughed. I don't know what you want from me. I laughed.
I was trying to figure out the reference. I'm sorry.
It's Eminem.
For a minute, I thought Eminem did a television show.
No.
Wow, I didn't realize I was the whitest person in the room, and now I know.
Now you know.
I just courtesy laughed. Didn't catch the reference
Well,
either.
to be fair, I grew up learning to riff listening to people like Boyz II Men and other various 90s R&B artists. So, if anybody's
Oh
the
dang it! I
least
had a
white, it's
seal
me.
joke locked and loaded, and now I forgot it.
So, do we think that musical episodes are just as effective as telling stories as non-musical episodes, or are they just gimmicky?
Somewhere in between.
It depends on the writer a lot because again, it's kind of like the point I made earlier. With a musical, most people who write musicals don't incorporate the story into the song. they stop the story so that they can put the song in there. And that way the song works on its own outside of the context. And that works to some extent. I mean, that's Guy Love. Guy Love does not further the plot of that episode in any way, shape, or form. And arguably very few of those songs do.
Oh,
Some
no.
of them do. Some of them
Like,
actually do.
Kind of, but...
Yeah. But the problem with the musical episode frequently is that you've got these character arcs that are ongoing throughout the whole season, and all of them just come to a screeching halt so that they can do this musical episode.
Right.
Frequently, not always. Like we've actually talked about a lot of the good examples of those songs that further the plot, and then the comedic shows like The Simpsons, where there isn't really a whole lot of character development going on. So what the heck? The musical numbers are great in those.
I think that a lot of the times, basically, when you get a musical episode, it's because you have people in the cast and the crew, a showrunner who's passionate about it and wants to get it in, much more so than it actually serving a purpose, other than it being there. Like, I liken it a lot to the live episode of 30 Rock, where it was there because it was a passion for them. Even though I hate that episode. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's terrible. I think the Julia
hate it.
Louis-Dreyfus jokes are hilarious. It's like, how come you're better looking in your flashbacks? My flashbacks have Seinfeld money.
That is pretty great.
Yeah, but at the same time, it can feel very out of place. That's why I like it when you have a show that is a musical. Something like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I feel it where. Yes, all of the songs in that show do push the plot forward because that was always the intention.
Yeah, I mean, that might actually be the problem that I have with the Daria musical episode, is that it feels like a gimmick, and it feels out of place with everything else that had come before. And it's part of the reason that I feel like maybe it's supposed to be a satire, because if it had been a satire, and if the characters had actually called out how ridiculous it is that they're singing all the time in the dry, sardonic wit that Daria usually has, then it would have fit with the tone, but they play it straight, and that feels wrong.
Let me tell you a little bit about The Flash. So, The Flash and Supergirl recently had a crossover event, a musical event that everyone was so excited about. But it
actually
really,
almost got me to watch The Flash, I'll tell you that.
It really, just like both current seasons of those shows, fell flat. And it felt unneeded, unnecessary, and the music there was so bad. It was all, it was all licensed, nothing original except for the last song, which felt really out of place. And yeah, you had some good singers in there. Jeremy Jordan is a regular cast member on Supergirl.
Jeremy Jordan. Sorry,
Jeremy
I mean my
Jordan's
husband.
pretty darn good.
But it really, it just didn't work. And I thought it was the worst episode in either of those series seasons for this very, very, very bad season. It was awful, and they tried to use the music there to further the character development and further the story, but the thing is, basically, they spent 6 episodes trying to break up the main couples in both of these shows, and then magically, through the power of music, they got back together, and it was just so unbelievable and dumb and badly produced.
It's because
Badly produced.
Grant Gustin and whatever her name is on Supergirl, don't know her real name. I'm sorry.
Melissa Benoist.
We're not friends. They were both on Glee, which is probably part of the reason why this happened in the first place.
Read the entire reason this happened in the first
You
place.
are correct.
Let's be honest.
Plus,
Yeah.
I think Darren Criss was on the episode.
Yeah,
According to my husband, I haven't seen this episode. But
He was the music meister.
Originated by Neil Patrick Harris in Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Which was
The more
basically
you know.
just the exact same thing that they did a few weeks earlier with Mr. Mixit Plicktick, whatever.
Mixie Spitlick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gilbert Gottfried.
So, yeah, they basically have the same character. It didn't make sense. It was dumb.
It's okay, Brady. Let's talk about Dr. Horrible for a minute.
Does
Oh,
Dr. Horrible count?
No, it doesn't,
It's
because
not
it's
a
a
TV
straight-up
show.
musical.
But it's great.
But that is a good example of character development through songs, and not just, let's stop the action for a minute, let's sing about something, and then let's come back to it. I think that, like, Laundry Day.
Theater.
Uh-huh.
I'm
You
a
like,
big-
Well, it's not just
Totally.
character development, because character development is one of the things that the songs do really well generally, but Dr. Horrible, the plot happens in the songs.
Yeah.
The act, not just those really great character moments, which I would argue is the only thing Joss Whedon is really good at, is character moments. And I'm counting dialogue in there because it's a lot of delivery.
yeah. I was going to say
Yeah.
that the witty dialogue is kind of his bread and butter.
Yeah, it is.
I understood that reference.
It is, but he reveals what makes it work is he reveals so much of the characters through that.
Mhm.
Complete tangent. We can talk about whether Joss Whedon is overrated or not some other day. And the answer is maybe. Shrug. But
It's blanking off of me.
Dr. Horrible, though, I've got nothing bad to say about Dr. Horrible, and so much of it is the way that these songs tell you about the characters. They help you to laugh at the characters when appropriate, or sympathize with the characters when appropriate, and that last song with just this powerful build-up to the supervillain actualizing himself and becoming the villain that he always wanted to be, and then just cutting to the saddest last shot in just about anything. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
And
you
the
guys
fact that
haven't
in
seen
that
Dr.
last
Horrible, you should
song
see it.
you actually get to see Bad Horse.
Yeah,
Bad Horse.
and
It was like if Dr. Claude turned around. You finally get to see Bad Horse and his terrible Death Winnie.
so the Evil League of Evil, you actually see the whole Evil League of Evil, and there is a joke in there that is no longer funny because one of the members of the Evil League of Evil is named Dead Bowie.
Oh.
Yep, that's a thing.
It's going to be like another generation before it's funny again.
Yep. Except it may not ever be funny again. It's like, well, of course he's dead.
So as long as episodes verge on more Dr. Horrible than The Flash.
Yeah, I
Course,
think
they
those
actually
are
continue
good. Those are good
Opposites of the
goalposts to
scale.
use.
The comedies tend to do a really good job
Yeah.
of these. The dramas have to do a bit more work. And it can work, because
Yeah.
we've seen it work. Freaking Buffy managed it pretty successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly successfully.
Well,
Brady
Spawned
like,
a legion of imitators successfully.
well, I was going to say Buffy isn't as much drama. Well,
I think that's a topic of discussion.
Is it a comedy though?
We can talk about whether Joss Whedon is overrated or not some other day.
I'm going to show you the back of my hand. I'll tell you what.
And on that note of violence, I feel like it's time we about wrap it up unless anybody had anything that's coming up that they wanted to discuss with our
Just-
listeners.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 is back.
Oh
guys.
yeah, it's pretty good, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of Felicia Day,
Yeah.
who
I just like
She's
her.
really entertaining on that show.
I just
Yeah.
like her. She's
Oh, I
cute.
thought you said I don't like her. And I was
No,
like,
I said I just like her.
what?
I do like her.
I kind of like the new MST3K better than the old.
I'd have to. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. The
on the
old,
one hand-
the
I haven't
old
seen enough
had
to see.
the old had my absolute favorite short in Spring Fever.
Oh,
if you have
freaking
not
Spring
watched
Fever
Spring
is so
Fever,
good.
it is the greatest Mystery Science Theater
I need to
3000.
watch that.
Classic
How to Have a Date with
MST3K
Your
had
Family,
Joel, and
it's-
I love
like-
Joel,
Mm-hmm.
but I really love Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt as the bads.
What Patton Oswalt as being like the
TV son of TV's Frank.
Her name is Max. Okay, fine. And like him being like kind of like incompetent a little bit and like getting picked on by Felicia Day. It was
Yep.
good. It was something.
I haven't
different
seen the
for
new
me.
version yet, so I'll be excited to
It's
get
not.
into it.
It's not bad at
Like
all.
I get like the first episode. Like the movies are so bad.
They are.
That it's like and like they don't talk over the dialogue, and so you hear all this bad dialogue. But then like the next one is a lot of really crappy music and a lot of quietness, and they're just like jokes.
Right.
They cram the
It's
jokes
awesome.
in there a lot.
I watched it by myself, which I think is a mistake.
It
I'm
is
not
a
gonna
mistake.
I'm not gonna do that again.
I've been doing that, and it's a mistake.
Yeah. So don't watch it by yourself. What else? Skip Iron Fist.
Yes.
And
Oh.
throw it off of a waterfall.
Yes.
What else is there that's coming out? Next week, Guardians of the Galaxy
like
Volume 2.
Guardians is
Yeah.
coming out.
Oh, I'm watching The Circle tomorrow. See if that's any good. There's a Netflix special. If anybody here likes crime things like I do, I watch a lot of Criminal Minds and things because I'm a creepy person, apparently. And I find horrible things really fascinating. Casting Jean Benet is on Netflix, which is basically local actors from the area in which John Benet Ramsey, the little girl that was murdered, was from, give different dramatization takes on what could have happened, because it's still not solved and people have all these theories. So if you're at all interested in that, maybe it's just me.
See,
alone
true
on my
true
couch.
crime stuff can really get me. Like, I was obsessed with Making a Murderer when it first came on, and with Jinx, and with Serial.
Freaking Serial.
Serial.
Oh yeah, if you haven't listened to S-Town, do. And
I
if you
heard
wind
it's
up
good.
liking it, tell me why. Because I still haven't decided. And nobody I have talked to can decide if they actually like S-Town or not. It's not just me.
I just heard about that today too, and like, it's weird things like Serial, and what else? Pokemon Go. Things that was like, remember when everyone in the entire world was on the same page for a minute, and like, yeah, there's I don't know what other kind of like it's. Should we have bigger cultural moments? I think the real stuff makes me sad.
Too
So I
true.
focus on Pokemon Go. That was a crazy summer, wasn't it?
Yep.
Well, it's like when I get on Facebook, like, all I'm looking for are cute puppy videos. That's it.
That's most of the internet.
And I think unless
Thankfully.
anybody else has anything else to say,
I think we can wrap it
we're
up
going to
now.
wrap it up.
Pretty successfully.
Thanks all for listening, and I hope you join us in our next podcast where we're going to talk about some book that we're going to read.
Some book.
The
It's a thing.
Emperor's Soul by
It's
Brandon Sanderson.
so good, guys. It is so good.
Have you read it?
No.
Me neither.
Yep.
Neither Steve or I have read it, so we have no opinions at this time, but we will.
Will we like it? Spoiler alert, probably not. Good night, everybody.
You
Love you all.
finally made a monkey out of me. Oh, I forgot to talk about Mark.
We are done.
We put the spring in Springfield.
We are done.